Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Man, We're Too Old for This, here on the Nerdhole Network. I'm your host, the experience that some call Jason, and joining me today is...
the token head in a jar, Tarky.
CDL-113, the droid you're looking for.
And the blurred dawn of the Ville, the Todd Father.
And today we ask you to come with us and ponder the question, what if? We are 5 episodes into the show, which I believe is only going to have 8 episodes in the season.
So we accidentally missed the halfway point.
Yes, well, you know. I meant to come in at the halfway point, but yeah. So we're slightly past the halfway point.
You have failed!
Yeah, well, you know. Not as bad as Red Skull in that first one. Needless to say, this will be spoiler-filled, so if you haven't seen it yet, go watch it before you come watch and or listen to us.
Listen to us and then go watch it and see, all the places we were wrong.
Or right.
That works too.
Or left.
Yeah.
Or where we just had a differing of opinion. You can't really be wrong or right with whether you like something. Unless you like the new Disney Star Wars, then you're wrong.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So y'all just want to go through this episode by episode?
Sure.
Yep.
All right. So episode 1 was what if Captain Carter was the first Avenger? Which, considering you never actually see an Avengers team put together, is odd. But... So what are our opinions?
It was a decent story. It was kind of like a soft pitch softball for me. It's like, oh, you lobbing an easy one in there to get people into the idea of what if means. It wasn't your classic what if story, more say of an Elseworld type story,
But Elseworlds were what if.
Yeah, but I mean, it wasn't like, oh my God, Earth shattering, everything's horrible now.
The shit didn't hit the fan.
Right.
Yes, it was just different, not the usual what if catastrophe.
And that was, it is my least favorite of them. And that's really why I was like, yeah, this don't, because I literally was complaining about it. I was like, this don't feel like the old what if comics. This was not enough changed. Like I said, it is easily my least favorite of them. I never really got over the Peggy Carter looking like Steve with a woman's head. That weirded me the hell out. Man, she stopped, she took the serum and she looks like
She looked
Steve.
she looked like a big ass body.
She looked like Steve. She literally, it's like they took Steve, photoshopped the head off, stuck Peggy's head on there, and then went, oh, look, it's Captain Carter. I was like, nah, it's fucking Steve.
You are kind of right there. She should have been bigger than that.
She should have been bigger, and she should have still had curves. Haley Atwell is curvy as a motherfucker. That ain't going,
That ain't going
away.
Well, when you see her come out of the machine, she's towering over Stark, so she got extra height and stuff to her.
Right, but like Steve Rogers was a diseased young man, and he was grown, but he was diseased to the point of looking very, very small.
Well, they kind of cover the fact that her being healthy made a difference, because Steve ain't flipping, troop carrying trucks.
Yeah, but I mean, just like his growth in size, in comparison to her growth in size was stunted in comparison to how much bigger.
Though she still filled that entire compartment up and was kind of scrunched up when they opened it. So I don't know. That part didn't bother me too bad.
My thing wasn't her size, it was the fact that she stopped looking female. There are women that are fit, but you look at them, you go, oh, that's a fit woman. Captain Carter looked like a fit dude, which kind of creeped me out. It is, she just looked male as fuck to me.
So, the Hydra Stomper. Did anybody else, every time it would pop up on screen, sit there thinking about Big Guy?
Yeah. Truthfully, I did.
For those of you not familiar, I'm referring to it was a cartoon in the 90s, I think, Big Guy and Rusty. It was based on a comic, but I'm not familiar with the comic version. Yeah. The Big Guy was like a giant mecha.
And Rusty was an autonomous robot.
Yep.
Well, he was basically Astro Boy with the serial numbers filed off.
Yeah. Yeah, the first time you see the Hydra Stomp, where I was sitting there watching it going, watch the skies coming at you. I was like, yeah. It was... I would have been curious to see how advanced an Iron Man suit would have been in that world, considering, with a World War II head start.
Yeah, because I thought it was funny because Jennifer's like, why does he drive it? Because he's probably the only guy small enough that can fit in there. because he's basically driving a flying tank, and that's a lot of tech for that day and time. I mean, look how big the sarcophagus was that they put Steve in the movie, or her, in this one. It's like, yeah, that was a lot of tech. Nowadays, that would be just like a lab table and a few bars hung over you,
Yeah.
They didn't have that circuitry then.
That's back in the vacuum tube days.
Yevers.
But, one of the things, I was talking with a guy on Facebook, one of my cousins, and he was like, well, that was a good what if. And I'm like, no, that was a good what if this story had happened and still had a happy ending. A what if it had been a true what if, yeah, Peggy would have failed and Hydra, Skull would have had that door open and the creature would have come through and ate everybody.
Or it could have gone through the portal and come out the other side, and like Hydra would have already taken over.
Yeah.
Or there wouldn't be a shield to assemble the Avengers or something. There would be some unforeseen.
There would have been a difference.
Yeah.
And that was my biggest problem with the first one, is there was really no real difference. Yeah, what's different? Little minuscule stuff where what ifs, as you'll see later. But Danny was right, because I remember Danny going, I think this is them easing us into what ifs are.
Yeah. I do remember Danny calling that, yeah.
My God, if this is gonna be it, Jesus Christ, this is basically Disney doing the what they did to Grimm's fairy tales.
Yeah.
They have softballed the hell out of them.
Now, I know we were all assuming the tentacle thing at the end was Shumagorath, but did they ever, I don't recall them ever dropping that name.
In the thing, they never dropped that name, but the one of the articles I saw that was from one of the Disney guys, and he goes, yeah, it was Shumagorath.
Okay.
And they're probably not done with it.
And they even if you flash forward three or four episodes, and you got Doctor Strange, yeah, it's the same tentacle creature reaching out of it.
Yeah, now I did notice that. I was going to wait and bring it up when we were talking about the Doctor Strange episode, but that's okay, Danny. Skip ahead.
Well, move to the next one then.
All right, what if T'Challa became a Star-Lord?
Which was everything I said it was going to be, which made me kind of sad.
It is also AKA my favorite one.
See, I liked it just fine. It was like, oh, it's a heist movie in space. That's fine. But it was just kind of, okay, the main story beats are everything I thought of. There's nothing that like piques my interest other than seeing, T'Challa voiced.
Well,
It kind of just hit everything you were expecting to do and nothing else.
Yeah, and like the only thing that surprised me was like they made a joke about how shitty they wrote Thanos. That's the only thing that caught me off guard. Was like, they made a joke about how bad they were at this.
Yeah, that was the one that I watched it. I enjoyed it. It still didn't feel like a what if to me, but that was at least one that I liked. It was different enough from Guardians that I wouldn't just sit there going, "My God, they told damn near literally the same damn story. They just superimposed heads." Because unlike Captain Carter, T'Challa was different than Peter Quill. I have seen people complain that, well, he just came in, he married Sue. Well, I hate to tell you this, but T'Challa's actually better than Peter Quill. It was, put a competent person in there. Another one of the complaints was, well, why would he call himself Star-Lord when that was a name that Peter called himself because of his mother? But yeah, that was another slap at Quill. T'Challa didn't call himself Star-Lord. The universe called T'Challa Star-Lord.
Yeah.
Where Peter named himself, which is the reason why in the beginning of Guardians, when he goes, I'm Star-Lord, and Korath goes, who? It's because nobody called him that but him. They mock him for calling himself Star-Lord that whole damn movie.
Yep.
He didn't kind of get that tag until the end.
Yeah.
The universe was calling T'Challa Star-Lord because he kicked ass. And T'Challa was uncomfortable with it. Because, when Korra starts fanboying out, T'Challa's like, yeah, we don't do that here, You're not bow before? No. That's,
Yeah, even when they're fighting, he's fanboying. He's like, oh, he beat me.
Yeah, he's unconscious with a smile on his face.
See, I laughed through most of that episode because it's like, because it's like I was telling Jennifer when we were watching it. I said, you had in the Guardians, a young Peter Quill, your typical teenage, pre-teenage kid from America that, what we know about fighting, we learn from watching TV shows versus they took T'Challa from Wakanda and they are warrior people. They start you from in elementary school teaching you how to fight and survive. It's part of their curriculum. So when he's out there with a spear pretending to be a big hunter, yeah, it's not too much of a stretch. And when they take him, does this look like it? Well, he's got two eye holes, two nose holes, two ear holes, and one mouth hole, and they all look alike to me. I fell out.
That was fucked up.
And then they went ahead and took him. It's like, well, we're already in. Zoom.
But the trick was, because if you look at that, T'Challa never uses his gun in a fight.
Mm-mm.
That was the difference. Was you had a typical kid versus somebody that was already being raised to rule people. So even though you took T'Challa out of Wakanda, you didn't take Wakanda out of T'Challa. He was going to rule whatever kind of group he was in based on the person that he was.
Yeah, because he went from low man on the totem pole to everybody. Hey, yeah, and heck, he didn't collect dead people. He collected
followers.
Yeah, he collected followers. I mean, when you beat Galactus with a conversation,
well, you beat Thanos with a conversation.
Thanos with a conversation.
And I like that Thanos just because he was still kind of dead set on his plan.
Yeah.
So you just don't. That sounds like genocide. No, it's efficient. It'd be quick, just like this.
Well, his excuse was, no, it's not genocide because it's random.
Yeah.
The people's reactions, even like Howard the Duck, when they show him, he's like, oh, yeah, it's down the hall by. So yeah, come on, I'll show you. And then, oh wait, it's happy hour. Let's get a drink. I'm like,
but yeah, that's literally the only time he uses a gun in that whole cartoon. Is freeing Howard. When he shoots a lot. That's it. He never pulls a gun after that. So third one was what? The murder mystery.
Yeah.
What if the world lost its mightiest heroes?
That one was when it, to me, started feeling a little what ify.
Mm-hmm.
Because that one didn't tell you the change up front.
No.
Like you saw the effects of the change, but you weren't told the change till later on.
Right.
I liked that format.
Yeah, the murder mystery part was neat. The internet had kind of spoiled that one for me because I was, late watching them. So I knew who was behind it. But
that was one.
But it was still enjoyable.
Watching it fresh. That was one that it actually kind of caught me by surprise because I'm sitting there going, okay, so I know it's somebody from the MCU doing this crap. But who in the hell could it possibly be?
Mm-hmm.
Because for like when they took out Black Widow, I was sitting there going, Scarlet Witch? But why in the hell would Scarlet Witch, does she even exist yet? Who the hell is doing all this crap? Now I thought
it all takes place pre-Cap week in it.
Yeah. I thought it was a little. I thought their reason behind Hank doing that was a little weak. But Hank doing it and in the yellow jacket kind of armor, I was like, oh, it's shout out to, Hank going crazy. Damn, Hank can't get no respect nowhere.
Well, I looked at it as, after the wife, this was kind of the last little something, losing his daughter would be the last little something to make it snap. I thought his reasoning for taking out Thor was very, very weak and a little too we have to have him kill all the original Avengers, so, he just got to have a reason to kill Thor.
Yeah. The Loki taking over was a nice little twist. Was like, oh, well.
While I'm here,
I'm just never gonna leave. But like I said, that was the first one that felt a little iffy to me, though it still had hope.
Yeah, because you leave it with
well, you hear with Fury waking up Cap, and he's got Captain Marvel with him, so it's gonna be an uphill fight, but there's
a chance in there.
Yeah. Then you get to the fourth one.
What if Doctor Strange lost his heart instead of his hands?
And it took a very, very dark turn quick.
That was fucked up. That was the one that I went, they have been reading What If, because that is some what ify shit.
Yep.
Yeah, I felt that one was solid, though.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Like it
I'm
played
watching
its
them all out of
cards
order,
right.
but that was actually the last one I watched just before we got on here.
That was that. I also like what I didn't pay attention if they were really doing that with the Watcher in the other episodes. They may have, but that was the one where I started noticing the Watcher in the background.
Yeah, in the others, you have like little snippets where the Watcher, he may be in the clouds, or he may be in the shadows, or there may be a scene, and if you, that kind of makes the Watcher's outline right there. You know, they have him, cameo, I guess if you want to say it, but that's the first one you really see him kind of like, ooh, I'm taking a close interest on this one.
Can I throw a theory out there?
Go ahead.
I think it starts off and his presence is very subtle, and it starts getting a little less subtle. And I'm betting that it'll do that until you get to the last episode when he interferes.
Probably.
Yeah.
Because with it being a Watu, if he does not interfere in some spot, then it's not what if.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not.
I did like the fact that Doctor Strange,
not the character, because the character interferes.
I like the fact that Doctor Strange is the one that could like sense him.
Yeah.
Well, as he kept drawing these extra dimensional beings into himself, he gained more and more cognizance of the Watcher.
Well, as he became more powerful in general, yeah.
As the scenes where you had him, he started with Shumagorath. Oh, that's too much. Start small, and he started with a little gnome,
An evil little gnome, but
yeah, it was a demon gnome, is what it was. But he starts small, and then he summons that one thing. Ooh, I don't do bugs, but I'll keep the cape. I cracked up at that scene, and then he kept summoning more and more and more, and it's like you would see him. He looked like Strange. You see his fucking shadow, and he'd be like moving and like. Oh,
I like the fact he just looked more and more like a vampire to me.
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah.
It was like he was more sickly and hadn't been outside lately.
Well, he hadn't been outside in hell at least a century.
He had stayed in that library, absorbing knowledge.
Because remember, that's
and power.
When you run into Cogliostro and he's old as shit.
Yeah,
and he's like, "What happened to you? What happened to you? You've been in there."
That was just the librarian of that dude's library. He had a different name. He was just guarding the books that had belonged to. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce it.
Cagliostro.
Which is a name that sounds very familiar.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's probably one of the. It's either one of Marvel's fairly hardcore master mages, or it's one of the Vishanti, one or the other.
Yeah.
I also think there was an anime, The Castle of something, whatever that name is. Cagliostro.
Yeah, that's Lupin the Third.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure.
But Cagliostro is probably just an old Italian name or something,
Yeah, Lupin the Third, the Castle of Cagliostro.
Okay.
But yeah, I enjoyed that one because it showed you like exactly if Strange really, really wanted to be a threat.
To be evil.
Yeah. Because
my favorite line in that was actually from the Watcher. I could tell him that he's gonna do this. Yeah, he probably will listen to me no way.
Yeah.
Oh, what was that? Somebody there? Yeah. Well, I like that at the end too. Well, if I, when Strange is just telling him, just punish me and not the rest of the world. If I could punish you and save the rest of the world, I'd do it.
Yep. He got what he wanted, but at the cost of everything, including what he wanted.
Well, no, he didn't even get what he wanted because he didn't save her. Not really.
Got her for all of a split second.
Which he'd done before. That was the trick. What he didn't actually save her, period. It just put her all, just like the other times he had done something, it had put it off and she died some other way. And then he's trapped in that little sphere.
Yep. Because that was the whole point to it. That's what everybody kept trying to tell him that he wouldn't listen to. Even going back in time, that's the one thing you can't change.
A fixed point.
You're going to create a paradox doing this, because if you save her, if you use the powers of Doctor Strange to save her, then you should never become Doctor Strange because she didn't die. You can't change that. Damn you! I'm changing it anyway.
Well, the trick is, and this gets into where time travel always breaks down, with the amount of power he had, he could have go back to just before the accident, freeze time, take her out, conjure up a fake, stick it in there, and then carry her back to your present. She'd lose all that time. Everything you've done, you'd still do because you thought she had died. And then you've got your girlfriend back.
Yeah, and then a car would go by, kick up a nail, and it would pierce her in the head and kill her. You know,
No, because it would not be creating a paradox. It's a fixed point in his timeline because of the paradox of him doing something that would undo him. But that's just anytime you do time travel, it's time travel doesn't actually work. So
there are always rules that make it convoluted in a way that you can answer easily, but no one figures it out. Because that's it. It creates a paradox because you stop being Doctor Strange. If you stop being Doctor Strange, then she dies. If she dies, then you become Doctor Strange. Then you just have to make him believe.
Right. The trick is in like the Marvel comics, it would just split off an alternate timeline.
Or you have to change the reason. Because remember, in the quote unquote sacred timeline, he still became Doctor Strange. She did not die because she wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
But he became Doctor Strange for another reason.
Yeah. Still, I thought it was a very good episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still enjoyed it.
And then we get to the 5th episode, the most recent one. What if zombies?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I like that title, but anyway.
I was a little sad that they were dumb.
Well, they were only kind of dumb. I mean, they were using tactics. Tony can still use his armor.
Yeah, but they clearly were not up to snuff.
They were not the comic book Marvel zombies.
But
where they had their full personalities just kind of twisted.
Yeah, and they were not your baseline zombie movie zombies either. Because they obviously plotted, planned, could use armor, could use their abilities, they weren't shambles by a long shot.
It's like the regular people may have been.
Yeah, because when you see Happy, once he turned, or I'm sorry, Dan, is Danny still listening?
Yeah, go ahead.
When Happy turns, he still tries to use the weapon, but like he's clearly too dumb to use it correctly. Whereas when they were fighting Thanos' 2 goons that showed up, they fucking wrecked shop.
Yeah, they actually did better against them there than they did in the actual movie.
Yep.
Yeah, and also the 2 magicians were still able to use magic. Perfectly well.
Though I noticed Strange's cloak wouldn't have anything to do with him.
And clothes are for the living.
I guess that's one way to think about it. I don't know. Most bodies get buried with clothes.
Well, the trick
Not
is
by choice.
that cloak is blatantly sentient.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
It's damn thing's fucked up. Even with the evil Doctor Strange, you notice he didn't have Doctor Strange's cloak of levitation. He got that shit off that bug.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you go back to the books, the cloak, there have been times when Strange has used magic to turn himself into a vampire or an undead because he needed to go to a specific place, and if he was alive, it would kill him. The cloak will not stay on him when he casts one of those spells.
But you have had evil versions of Doctor Strange's that the cloak would still work. The eye user is the thing to reject.
Yeah.
But overall,
what'd you say?
it was a very motley crew they had, which is great. It fits in with the zombies thing.
Yeah.
It just seemed to play out kind of weird to me. Like,
there was some weird stuff there, and they couldn't seem to settle on a tone. It's like it kept wanting to be almost slapstick funny, then something horrific, and it never felt right the whole way through.
That was a roller coaster. We dealing with something, especially for Disney. We dealing with something that's dark as shit. So yeah, that was one where I was expecting kind of comedic horrific.
Yeah, it was like the dude that did the last Thor movie came in and did it. Every time there should be an emotional moment, we're just going to throw a fart joke or something in there.
Yeah.
Just to completely wreck the mood.
Yeah. But it was one of them that one was what iffy as shit.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, the thing with the zombies is like they couldn't make up their mind how bright, how shambling. That kind of jumped all over the place. Because you're right. Unlike the Marvel zombies that, yeah, they kept their intelligence. They were just fucking evil.
Yeah.
Well, it's they had their intelligence until they got hungry enough. And then they still had intelligence, but they could not control themselves.
Yeah. One thing I've noticed that may be a pattern is the first two were fairly bright. I mean, That second one ends. There's still hope for that world, but the world's in a bad spot. Then these next two, there ain't really no hope left when they're over. So I'm wondering if it's going to keep getting darker and darker as it goes.
Well, that was the last two because it went Captain Carter. Wasn't no big deal. Wasn't nothing about her being, the super soldier really fucked anything up.
Mm-hmm.
T'Challa's had a happy episode, but when you get to that end, you realize, that universe is probably fucked.
Yeah,
it's at least got a Thanos level problem headed its way.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But the Captain Carter one,
that was Thanos was trying to kill half the universe. Ego was trying to take out every damn thing.
Everything that wasn't Ego.
Yeah. So that one had the potential to go really, really bad. The third one, they had an uphill fight, but there's hope because the Asgardians have taken over Earth, but Fury is still gathering his team of heroes. You just had a different team. How well they'd have done, you don't know.
Well, it's also they fight and then Odin gets up. Because you didn't see Odin die, so Odin would come down.
Yeah, that was while he was asleep.
Hey, I'm here to pick up my son. He's been doing some dumb shit.
Yeah. So there was, like I said, it was an uphill fight. There's still hope. The fourth one, there wasn't no hope because there wasn't shit left.
Yeah, there was no universe.
There was no universe.
The worst thing that could happen had happened, and only the person responsible was there to remember it.
And then this last one, it kind of depends. You knew your heroes were most likely toast. So nobody was the likelihood of them surviving that story was pretty much none. And depending on if zombie Thanos was cognizant enough, would he kill half the universe? Would he turn everything into lunch? You don't know what the hell the motivations of a undead Thanos are. Because the baseline when his thing, even killing half the universe, was to preserve life. What the fuck this damn thing was. That could be a horrible ending, or hell, that could be the way MCU Thanos ran. Hell, he gets the other gems, snaps everybody back to life. Hell,
Yeah, you never know.
Or half of them back to life.
Or he's just kind of on Earth, which means the rest of the universe at least doesn't suffer the decimation.
Unless, because that's just it. With them bringing the zombie plague kind of from the quantum realm kind of thing, it takes away the thing from Marvel Zombies, because the trick for the virus in the Marvel Zombies is it was trying to expand. The virus itself was kind of sentient. They had a biological kind of drive to create more zombies. Because that's how it got in that universe from the first place. It came from another universe that it had already basically eaten. It had kind of a Galactus thing to it.
Yeah.
It was wanting to expand. So if it had that kind of thing, then one of them with the Infinity Gauntlet becomes a real problem, because that's going to end up a universal threat and then a multiversal threat.
Well, that depends, because a lot of times Infinity Gauntlets don't work in other universes, so it might not be able to carry you to another one.
That's true. At the very least, they'd be in the universe.
But it ruins that one universe.
Oh, it definitely ruins that one universe.
It is nothing says that you can't use that gauntlet to open up doorways to other universes, and hey, go here, go here.
Hey, it would still be a problem of potential invasion, but not you walk in, snap finger, walk in the next universe, snap finger.
If you're the general, you can open up a door, send your troops through. You can't just carry your gauntlet through because it's just a paperweight now.
Yeah, it becomes just an issue of how smart were they.
Yeah.
How smart were they, and how fucked up is the right? What does the writer want them to do?
Yeah,
because I would not. If the rumors are true and that all these kind of stories are going to end up with kind of like a multiversal Avengers, because you've seen the shot where you got Captain Carter and Strange and T'Challa, and I think that's Killmonger in War Machine armor and shit. Like, if it's heading toward that, they gonna fight something. And they got some universes with some fucked up shit in them now.
Yeah.
So if they do end up fighting Shuma-Gorath, it's, a universe full of zombie versions of themselves is literally one snap away. or whatever the hell you do with greasy, oiled up tentacles.
So where are we hoping they go from here?
No, the one I was looking forward to 3. The T'Challa Star-Lord one, just because hell I wanted to hear Chadwick. I was shocked as shit, hell, when this one came out. I was like, ooh, this is one of the ones Chadwick did. Sweet. I don't know if I want to see him turned into a zombie or not.
Oh yeah, that last thing is I like the fact they made him look exactly the way he did in the Marvel Zombies comic.
Yeah.
I think he was missing part of an arm in the comic.
Yeah, he's missing part. He's missing an arm too.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
Had him similar.
Arm and a leg, but yeah, when I saw him without his leg, I was like, oh, they did him just like they did him a lot like they did him in Marvel Zombies. That's fucked up. The next one that I'm curious about the Thor one, and then I'm really wanting to see the one where Killmonger and Stark are buddies, because that one's got the potential to go all kinds of weird.
Yeah.
It's either you gonna have Killmonger from the movie with Stark Tech, which is gonna be interesting, or you gonna have a heroic Killmonger, which you kind of sitting there go, that shit could go either way.
Yeah.
The way the series is getting darker as it goes, I'm betting we don't. We're probably going to kill Killmonger as heroic for a little bit.
You know what?
Before either going after Wakanda or just using Stark tech like he was going to use the Wakandan tech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the trick. The thing is, if they don't change his motivations, then you get Killmonger with Stark tech.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he goes to Wakanda, and but I hesitate to go, well, he'd take over Wakanda with Stark Tech, because Stark Tech really wasn't impressive compared to Wakandan technology.
No.
He was still impressive, but it was not overarchingly better.
It really wasn't shit, because Tony literally gets the armor that he has in Infinity War, the whole nanotech thing. Yeah, he got that because Wakanda started sharing tech. That's why he got it. They were Tony Stark was still using holograms for hard light holograms. They were using that shit in the damn 90s. Yeah, he had Wakanda has Tony Stark by a wave.
Now, I couldn't find it just now, but I've seen a list where they had like all the episode titles, and I think the last one was something like Defenders of the Multiverse or something.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm curious as to what kind of Avengers-esque team you're going to have at the end.
That thing that you've already seen glimpses of and shit. Because like I said, you see the beardless Thor, Doctor Strange, Captain Carter, Star-Lord. Like I said, I'm pretty sure that's Killmonger, kind of in like a Panther War Machine looking armor. So, yeah, you got some shit coming. Oh, back on the zombies one. Did Hulk live?
You don't know. It ends with him and the Scarlet Witch fighting.
Yeah,
that's the last you see of him.
So potentially,
it depends if she could take him out, or if the Hope zombie would be strong enough to bite through his, infect him. Because you have that one zombie try to bite Banner, but the arm changes so it can't.
Yeah, it turns green, so he couldn't. That's kind of when Banner gets the things like, oh, okay. So he ain't coming out, but he ain't gonna let me die either. So I'm just gonna run into these motherfuckers and see what happens.
Yep.
God, I hate the wimpy Hulk.
Yeah.
So bad.
That was one thing I at least liked about zombies, is it gave Hulk a better, whether he lived or died, it gave Hulk a better ending than the actual movie did.
True.
But I think it's safe to say, to go ahead and wrap up, I think it's safe to say we're all looking forward to where, seeing where it's going.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it has continued to improve.
Yeah, me too. I've the closer they get to the books, the more they capture the spirit and the feel of the books, the more I like them.
Mm-hmm.
Because for those that are too young or never read them, truthfully, you could have titled all of them the same thing. What if the Watcher didn't get involved? Because that's truthfully a lot of those stories, about half of them damn stories, the reason why 616 Earth survived is because Uatu was horrible about breaking that law of non-interference. Psst, Fantastic Four, go here, let me put up his shield around the Earth. What the hell is this for? Oh, Galactus is coming.
Who?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's the only damn thing that saved them was the fact that the Watcher basically, hey, I'm a Watcher and I ain't supposed to interfere, but Galactus is coming, he gonna eat your damn planet. Oh, and once he got here, he has a weapon on board called the Ultimate Nullifier. I'm gonna put the image of it into your brain. Go up there and get it.
Watu.
Yep. Because, there was several times that, hell, the Watchers Council got on to Watu about, you're supposed to interfere. Yeah, I'm not interfering. You would totally interfere in every fucking chance you get.
What? No. I'm not interfering. I'm just
Having a conversation.
interfering.
Well,
Look, play the video back. Did I tell them about the yellow number? No, I just, somebody just put it in their head. Clearly it wasn't me.
Look, just
You
because I made them
did have-
think about it doesn't mean I told them to do it.
I just happened to leave one of my scanners on with the picture of what they needed, and I didn't point at it. I just kind of stood by it, so when they looked at me, they saw what they needed.
Yeah, he pulled that one in a Quasar book too.
Yeah,
Star Brand has brought Quasar back to life. He's looking for his quantum bands. He decides, I'll go to Watu, see if he knows where they're at. Watu won't answer him and walks off, and then there's the quantum bands up on one of his monitors.
Yeah, like I said,
Oh, nice.
it was like, hell, he was horrible about, hey, I'm the Watcher, and I'm not to interfere. You just trust me. You don't even know I'm there. Hell, baseline Earthlings knew Watu when they saw him. Oh, look, it's Black Panther's wedge. Look, the Watcher's floating there in the middle of the fucking sky. What do you think that's about?
Nothing?
I don't know. He's probably here because they heard Prince was here.
Well, no, he's probably here because he hears what the Condons throw the
The
best party.
Condons throw the best parties. Yeah.
All right, well, let's wrap it up. We've got our time in, and we're just rambling now. Anyway, if you've enjoyed the episodes, or you have some strong opinion, or you can think of something that we should have brought up that we missed, feel free to drop us a line. You can leave a comment below. You can contact us at thenerdeternal@gmail.com. We have a Facebook page. If you'd like to support us, please like, subscribe, share it with your friends. We have a shop where you can buy merchandise. Anything, any way you want to help us out, we appreciate it. So anyway, for today, I have been your host, the experience of some called Jason, and with me has been...
The token tired boy, Tarky.
CDL-113, the droid you're looking for.
And the Todd Father, who may or may not be the servant of Mephisto.
And we will see y'all next week.